It all started on the night before the last basketball game of the season. My coach had scheduled a light practice to make sure that we wouldn't be rusty. Even though this practice wasn't as difficult as we were used to, my teammates and I still took it seriously. We had one thought and one thought only on our minds: to come home with that big gold trophy and be known as the champions of the Philadelphia Catholic League. Inside the gym, you could hear sneakers squeaking on the floor, players breathing heavily, and a whistle being blown at such a high pitch it would make a dog cringe. I looked up at the gym clock, and it strikes 9 p.m.
All right, boys, bring it in.
Coach Gilmartin signaled us to center court and circle around him.
Okay, boys, it has been an honor coaching you guys throughout the season. You work day in and day out, and that's all a coach can ask for. I've seen each and every one of you give it your all. Now let's go out there tomorrow and bring home that championship title.
After practice, I went home and went straight to bed. There was no way I was going to stay up late and get a terrible night's sleep. The only problem was I couldn't sleep. How could I? I was about to play the biggest game of my life. I can't mess up. If I do, then I will let my coach down, my teammates down, and my family down. I could only hope that all my practice paid off and that all my worries were unnecessary. So instead, I thought of all the things that could go right instead of all the things that could go wrong. Maybe I will do so well that people will think that I stole LeBron James's talent. I've been asleep for a couple hours now, when all of a sudden I'm woken up at 1:57 a.m. by a sharp pain in my stomach. Maybe it's just a little spasm. I could have been sleeping in an odd position, I thought to myself. I tried to fall back asleep, but the pain was unlike any other pain I have ever experienced. It was as if I had an arrow inside of me trying to pierce through my body to escape. Could it be that I was hungry? I did have a small dinner that night before. I went downstairs to my kitchen. It was 2:24 a.m. I opened the refrigerator to try and find something to eat. Nothing appealed to me, so I grabbed a gallon of milk and poured myself a bowl of Life cereal. But that, too, didn't ease my pain. I went back to bed in hopes that my discomfort would end. The only position I could find any relief in was the fetal position. It was now 2:57 a.m. It has been an hour since this pain began, and it was progressively getting worse and worse. I now decided that it is time to wake up my parents and tell them what is going on. I walked across the hall and into my parents' dark room. They were sound asleep. Mom, Dad, I really don't feel well. What's wrong, Timmy? I've been up for about an hour now, and my stomach hurts so bad. I feel like I'm dying. There's definitely something wrong. I think I might need to go to the hospital. My parents immediately hopped out of bed. I never complain about anything, so they knew something wasn't right. Where does it hurt? My mother said. Right here, I pointed to my stomach. It's starting to bother me even when I just walk.
I'll get my keys and take him to the hospital, my dad said.
We left the house at 3:34 a.m. The drive to the hospital was a blur to me. I had a big, soft pillow compressed against my stomach, and my dad kept telling me that everything was going to be okay. We finally arrived at Grandview Hospital at 4:00 a.m. I had never felt more excited to be in a hospital in my entire life. As soon as we walked into the emergency room, the desk lady had asked us to fill out some paperwork and told us to wait in the waiting room to be called. I went to the waiting room with my dad. After 2 minutes of sitting down, I saw a nurse walking out with a clipboard. I was so excited that I didn't have to wait long at all. Samantha Nelson? Ugh, that's not my name. I knew it was too good to be true. I kept anxiously awaiting for them to say Timothy Casey. Andrew Dineback? Ugh, nope, not me. Francis Cleary?
Come on, nurse, that's not me either.
Abigail Sheridan?
Are you serious, nurse? She got here after me.
Timothy Casey?
Hallelujah. I stood up right away to make my presence known. The nurse took my dad and I into our own little room at 4:37 a.m. The walls were light blue, and there was medical supplies everywhere. The nurse told me to lie on the bed until the doctor came in to see me. Timmy, why don't you close your eyes and try to get some sleep? The doctor probably won't be in for at least 20... Knock, knock. Hi, I'm Dr. Silverson, and I will be looking after you today. Can you tell me what's wrong? The middle of my stomach hurts. It feels like I have knives in there, and they're poking at me. All right. I'm going to apply light pressure on different areas of your stomach, and tell me if it hurts there, okay? Okay. Here? Nope. Here? Nothing. How about there? No, it feels fine. How about... Ow! Based off how you responded, I'm going to need to run a couple tests. First, you need to drink 32 ounces of this special crystal light drink. It just helps us see exactly what is going on with your intestines when we x-ray you. Ugh, okay. And then can I go home? It's 4:52 in the morning, and I got a championship basketball game tonight. I need some sleep. Ha ha ha. We will see what the results of the test are first.
Hi again. This is the Crystal Light drink. Just make sure to drink it within a half-hour period, and I will be back to take you to the x-ray room.
A half hour went by, and I had finished the drink. The nurse came back, just as she said she would, and took me to get x-rays. The room she took me to, however, was no x-ray room. There was a huge, white, circular machine with a narrow shelf, kind of like a bed, sticking out of it.
We have to get a CAT scan of your stomach, so lay down on here and stay as still as you can.
When I was inside the CAT scan, I laid as still as I could, just as the nurse had asked. The space was very tight, so I closed my eyes and waited for it to be over. I kept thinking about my basketball game, and I prayed to God that I was fine, and I would be playing in my game later on in the night. I went back to my room where my dad was waiting for me. The nurse told us that the doctor would be in shortly to read me the results. It is now 7:27 a.m. I have been in the hospital for what seems to be an eternity. I just want to go home and be in my own bed. The pain isn't as bad as it once was. Maybe I just had some weird food poisoning. All these thoughts rushed through my head when suddenly I heard a knock knock. Hi, it's Dr. Silverson. Can I come in? Oh God, he's here. My heart is racing, but I found the strength to say, come in. Okay, well, I got the results back. Crap. I can't hear what he's saying. My heart is racing so fast. He can probably hear it. He's going to have to get my heart looked at if it keeps beating this fast. I got the results back, and it appears that you have an abnormal appendix. Yes! Thank God! I got strange looks from both Dr. Silverson and my dad. It turns out that abnormal means the opposite of what I thought. It appears that your appendix has enlarged, and it is beginning to leak. We need to get you into surgery ASAP before it bursts. Okay, but then after the surgery I'm clear to play in my game tonight, right? I'm afraid not. You're going to need to stay here overnight in order to recover. My heart dropped. Why was this happening to me? I worked hard all season to be one of the starters. I finally am where I want to be with my game, and now I have nothing to show for it. Timmy, it's going to be okay. You need to get this surgery. Your coach will understand.
As I laid in the hospital room, I came to terms that I wasn't going to be able to play in the championship game. It killed me, but I had to move on. I needed to mentally prepare myself for this. I was nervous, but I knew that I was in good hands. Knock, knock. Hi, Timmy, are you ready to go? I took a deep breath and filled my lungs. I breathed out, and the words, "I'm ready," came out. I said goodbye to my dad. It was 9:02 a.m., and the nurse had wheeled me to the operating room. I got closer and closer to the operating room. I began to panic. What if the surgery went wrong? What if the doctor mixed me up with a different patient, and he gave me the wrong surgery? I was now in the operating room. I was lying on the cold table, and several doctors holding different types of equipment surrounded me. One of them put a mask around my mouth. "Okay, Timmy, I need you to count backwards, starting at 10. 10, 9, 8...
Timmy, wake up.
Dad, what's going on?
You've been out of surgery for a couple hours now. It went very well.
Oh, right.
There's some people here who came to see you. Should I let them in?
Yeah, sure." In walked a bunch of sweaty guys with matching jumpsuits and smiles on their faces. The first one to walk in was carrying a huge gold statue. It was my teammates. They were back from the game, and we had won. We were champions. As I was listening to the intense game from my friends, my coach walked in and was holding something behind his back. He extended his arms. It was a basketball. Coach Gilmartin looked at me and said,
Timmy, we couldn't have made it to the championship game without you. We all agreed as a team that you deserve the championship ball.
I was speechless. My team visited me in the hospital and gave me, someone who didn't even play, the game ball. It may not have been my ideal way to end the basketball season, but I wouldn't have wanted it any other way.